Hi, back again. By this time you know my name is Morelna. I'm an astrologer and I'd like to talk to you about the new moon today, as I find that a new moon always sets the tone for at least the next 2 weeks to a month. And today we have a new moon in Pisces. Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac. It's actually the last sign. So we start at Aries, where we have to find ourselves, and then we go to Taurus, where we actually consolidate who we are. Then we go to Gemini and we start communicating and interacting with others and connecting. And so we go round the zodiac and then we get to Pisces. Pisces is where everything dissolves, where we have to find a new start. Because the sun and moon are together at new moon, so there's no reflection on the moon, that's why it's called the new moon. And because they are together, there is a lot of energy in Pisces. Both the sun and moon are in Pisces. And in this instance, also Venus and Neptune are in Pisces. So we have a very big Pisces component today. And at new moon, I always say, sit together and sit quietly for a while. Go hug a tree, sit at the tree, meditate, but go into your own darkness and sit there and contemplate what you want for yourself, how you want to do it. It's as if you have to find a new frequency in which to do the rest of the year. Look at your life and take from it and only retain the learning and the love, because that's also what Pisces is about. It's about the universal love. It's about the finer energies in our life. It's not an easy energy, and I think mostly we also need to incorporate the Virgo energy, which is the opposite of that, to ground the Piscean energy. Not only is the sun and moon in Pisces, but also Venus and Neptune. This is a heady combination that all four of these are together between 20 and 23 degrees of Pisces. Allow yourself time to sit quietly and think what it is that you don't want, so that you can ascertain and think about what it is you do want. Don't stick to the don't want. Create the space within yourself to see what it is you want to do with your life. And I want to tell you, with Venus and Neptune in Pisces, if ever you were going to meet a soulmate, it is now. Much more likely is that you will start thinking about how to deal with your life the way it is now. It's going to take till at least September, October, or even later, that we have this time of rebirthing. Remember that the earth is going into a different frequency. I would look something up on the internet and the next moment it would be on the television. Things like that are happening more and more and more. It's as if our frequency is changing. The outer world is becoming closer to our inner world, or our inner world is becoming closer to the outer world. And this is what Pisces is all about. I think the warning for Pisces is that we lose our boundaries. And that is where addiction comes in. Many of us have picked up weight. It's a time to discipline yourself again, to get to eating the right foods, to eating at the right time. Go for a 5-mile walk. Start doing the things that are disciplined again, because Pisces takes you into indulgence. There's nothing wrong with indulgence. It has to be countered with a certain amount of discipline. Also, when you're Pisces, we tend to care too much. We care at the cost of ourselves. What we need to learn at the moment, and thank goodness we have Chiron and Ceres. Ceres is all about nurturing. We have that in Aries. And Aries is the sign of me first. This is something in the chart that will help you and support you to become much more, shall I call it, self-centered in a positive way, so that you center within yourself and then you can help others where you think it is really good for them. You don't have to go and work in a soup kitchen necessarily, but that's one thing you could do. You could start picking up the plastic as you go for a walk. It truly is at the moment about looking after our earth, looking after ourselves, and yet allowing the feminine to develop. This is also Pisces, Neptune, Venus. They're all about developing and experiencing the inner feminine. Much more about being than doing. So what I'm going to do now is talk a little bit about the Saturn-Uranus square. Now, a square is a 90-degree angle. It usually connects two signs that have very little in common or are at war. We have Saturn in Aquarius and we have Uranus in Taurus. Now, I want to tell you, Uranus doesn't really like it in Taurus, but Saturn loves it in Aquarius. And Uranus is the master of Aquarius. So we have Uranus incredibly strong here. Now, Saturn is all about solidity, and it is about logic, whereas Uranus is all about flights of fancy and everything not solid. Innovation that leads to breakdowns and breakthroughs. This is what Uranus is about. History has actually proved that Uranus always wins out. The change always happens, no matter how hard Saturn holds on. We're in a process at the moment where the top to bottom government structures, the top to bottom solidity, that is all breaking away. We're going into a complete new frequency where it's much more creating with light, creating your own reality by thinking the right thoughts, the correct thoughts. This is what this time is about. This is how we're going to make the breakthroughs. The earth is lifting its frequency, and you have to set your dial to that frequency so that you can live the life you want to live. So start creating with life, change your frequency. Many of you are going to say, but what do you mean by that? I know that if you trust your intuition, you'll know exactly what I mean by that. Thank you so much for watching right to the end. And I'll be back at the full moon on the 28th when we have the Aries Libra, which is completely different from our Pisces time. See you then.